August 15th. I'm deep in the jungle. Made camp at the top of a ridge, above the head of the Peeny River. David's still with me with his bloody film camera. All the others have given up. To find the great lost city, I'm gonna have to cut him loose too, then go on alone.
So what are you doing, Ty?
I'm packing up. I'm going on.
We don't have enough food. We don't have enough water. I'm running out of power.
I know the road is up here. We've just got to follow the ridge. We've got to go on. There's no choice. There's no choice now. You're just making a film. I'm looking for a lost city. I've got to go on. I've got to follow the ridge.
I'm not going to be able to follow you.
Well, go home. There's the rope. The rope's down there. Just go home. See you in Lima, David.
Is this really how my film is going to end? My main character is leaving me. For 4 months I've struggled to follow him up rivers, through the jungle, and now, just before he discovers the lost city, he storms off by himself. Sorry kid, you got too much camera gear to carry. See you at the hotel in a few weeks. That's just great.
I've been warned of the danger, so it shouldn't have come as a surprise. I've been feeling unwell. I can't sleep. I don't know what's wrong. There's no doctor, so I've tracked down a shaman. I'm dubious of her skill. She makes her diagnosis with a guinea pig, rubbing it over my naked body, then skinning it alive. It peed all over me, and then it died.
Canela, peguei plato. Sim.
Are you picking up the sounds of them being ripped apart? Yeah. Now she opens it up.
La tierra donde que no se debe entrar ha entrado. Él debe recordarse seguramente dónde ha entrado y en dónde le ha sentido ese dolor. Necesita el pago para la tierra. Fuerte está.
Fuerte está.
Ajá, tienen que llevar el pago.
One year ago, I met travel writer Tari Shah in London. His books and travels had filled me with envy. Finally, I managed to talk him into letting me document one of his surreal journeys. The timing was good. Tari was in the middle of planning a new expedition. We went to Amsterdam Documentary Film Festival to present the project House of the Tiger King.
Is inside the House of the Tiger. My name is Manu. I'm the director of this project. This is Tari Shah. Tari Shah is a travel writer and also the main character of the project House of the Tiger King. He has written 8 travel books.
Tari Shah is obsessed with the prospect of embarking on a quest. He has studied magic with the godmen of India. He has scoured Ethiopia for the famous gold mines of King Solomon and traveled through the upper Amazon on the trail of a head-shrinking tribe.
A lot of this stuff hasn't been used since the last Amazonian trip. This is my medical kit from the Hospital of Tropical Diseases in London. It's got scalpels, syringes, it's even got a brain drip.
What's a brain drip?
Well, it's for dripping your brain. I don't know. It's when things get really bad.
These earlier journeys, Tari said, were nothing when compared to the expedition which lay ahead of us. The search for the greatest lost city on earth, Paititi, the lost city of gold.
When the Spanish conquistadors swept through Peru in the 16th century, the Incas took all the gold and they retreated into the deepest jungle in the world, to a jungle called Madre de Dios. And treasure was taken to a city deep in the jungle called Paititi. It's also known as the House of the Tiger King. David didn't get any financing at Amsterdam. It hasn't dented his enthusiasm. He's in a rut after spending the last 3 years writing a script he can't sell. He's so keen to come to the jungle. November the 30th. David's foolishly put all his savings into the project. I hate to use him like this, but it'll get the expedition off the ground.
God, it really does have character. It has adventure written all over it.
So we went to Amsterdam and
Pitched the big pitch.
we did the big pitch and we lied a bit about certain things.
We didn't lie. There's a very fine line between lying and extreme exaggeration, hyperbole.
And I came across an amazing manuscript, a Spanish manuscript, a very old manuscript, which gave some cryptic clues how to find the house at the time it came.
I don't want to give away too much about the cryptic clues right now, but they're quite cryptic. And they're certainly clues.
Will I ever get to know about them before we go
Maybe,
on this trip?
maybe.
But there are no cryptic clues. The ancient manuscript was something Tar had come up with to jazz up the pitch for Amsterdam.
All set.
The priest who wrote the manuscript spoke of 2 pinnacles, 2 mountains in Madre de Dios, and I'm certain that we can find them.
Does he tell us where the pinnacles are?
Well, it sort of hints, but look, if it told us straight off, this is where the pinnacles were, someone would have read it and done it between whenever it was written in the 1600s and now.
There are no maps of Madre de Dios because very few people have ever gone in and come out alive. I know, you might laugh, but we're going there, so it's worrying.
This looks like a landmine, but it's not. It's very important. It's a camping light. Oh, it's not working. Oops.
I can't stand jungle. I hate jungle. I hate the heat of the bugs, the wild people. I'm terrified of them. But very luckily, I know a man who can get me into the deep jungle. And most importantly, keep me alive while I'm there. He's called Richard Fowler. He's a Vietnam veteran. He makes Rambo look like a pussycat. This guy is just as tough as they come. I took some really shaky film of Richard just myself. Because Richard, he likes to wear this sort of wild thing. And seriously, and this is his only tool, his only weapon, the K-bar knife in Vietnam. This is a pink-coat tarantula which he ate for breakfast actually that morning.
And he promised me one thing. He said,
I'll get you in there and I'll get you back out.
and to me, that was good enough. I hired him on the spot.
Like the most famous explorer, one of the most famous English explorers alive.
But why are you interviewing him?
Because we want tips for the jungle. I mean, I think for the film that's quite good.
Rolling? I really wanted to find out a bit more about what are the key elements of a successful expedition.
Well, I think the most important thing, of course, is to get your aim straight, exactly what you're trying to do. But I assume that you've done that. And the next thing is to pick your team. Now, no matter whether it's you and one other, obviously compatibility is of the highest importance.
Aku, Richard! How are you, mate? Look, Richard, we're gonna be there in just like 2 or 3 days now.
You got cigars?
What cigars do you want?
Yeah, I told you, man. 2 cigars. Punch. Maduro. Listen, tell you
Yeah.
I gotta warn you.
What?
You know, your book you wrote. Listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Just listen a minute. Okay.
I'm listening.
And the book you wrote was, you're talking, you're not listening. I'll tell you, you'll find out the hard way.
Richard's a very difficult person to travel with. I don't know why we're hiring him. I said to Richard, do some hands-on investigation. Find out about Madre de Dios. And he just got back to me and he said, yeah, I've been taking these wild hallucinogens and flying over Madre de Dios in my dreams. And he's gone on 3 long flights. And he said he's seen the pinnacles and he's seen trees. He's seen a hell of a lot of trees.
Where did he see the pinnacles? Does he remember?
He saw the pinnacles in the mist of the jungle mist and the fog of his mind.
Our best clues so far were inspired by Richard's hallucinations. The line between fact and fantasy in Tar's writing is often blurred, but how do I blend that into a documentary?
26th December. Just arrived in Lima.
The real research starts here.
Paititi, ciudad perdida, Paititi. Sí. ¿Es verdad? Claro. ¿Sí?
Can you ask him why hasn't anyone found her?
Hay problemas que se encuentren con los indios, que pueden matar y comer.
Cannibals.
Ah, caníbal, sí.
¿Sí?
Sí.
We need to really find some special clue that nobody else found yet. Some special little thing that might actually
That's what
give
we've.
us a chance.
That's what our manuscript's got. So
That's why you need to find that manuscript.
that's why I need the manuscript. It's going to be okay. Just relax, relax.
Well, that's easy for him to say. Without a single clue in sight, and my budget shrinking for every day, the jungle seems very distant. To make things worse, he's looking for the invented ancient manuscript in local bookshops.
Always with explorers who are searching for lost cities, they're always gung-ho about the exploration, and they're trying too hard sometimes. So that's why we're not going to try very hard at all. We'll stumble upon it.
Okay. To keep the illusion of the cryptic clues alive, I decided to fake a sequence in an old monastery in central Lima. We only had 40 minutes in its library, but Tyre wasted no time in claiming he'd found new clues that would lead us to Paititi.
San Francisco Monastery trawled through hundreds of manuscripts, many of them more than 500 years old. They all mention the same name, Madre de Dios, the vast cloud forest. I could spend weeks here. There must be so many clues in these books, but there's no time. I have to get into the jungle. We've got the clues from the ancient manuscripts. Which are great.
No, we don't.
They're great. They're great. You've got to become a believer. You're not a believer anymore.
No, we're making a film here, and we've got nothing yet.
It's going to be great.
We have nothing to go on.
Doesn't matter. We've got a lot to go on. We've got a lot more than you'd expect. David's hassling me about the lack of maps and preparations. He's dragging me to the South American Explorers Club.
It's the South American Explorers Club, but they're not really explorers. They're sort of fake explorers.
We're going into Madre de Dios.
Yeah, well, we've got quite a lot of maps. Shall I show you where they are?
Don't be bad.
Unfortunately, we only learn things I don't want to know.
I mean, there's no risk that it would be in a nature reserve, would it? I mean,
We can't help where it is. We can't help where it is. If it's in a nature reserve, it's in a nature reserve. If it's downtown Lima, it's downtown Lima.
Great. Not only do we have no clues, but I'm making a film about an intrepid explorer looking for a lost city in a park.
Don't get the wrong idea about Manu. It's very virgin jungle. I mean, it's... I don't think we're even going into Manu. I'm not
do you
quite sure
think
where
Richard has any? I mean, do you
he's
think
been
that he
working
has
for
more
years.
info than we might expect?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Iquitos. For your own safety, please remain seated until we have reached the terminal and the door has been opened.
After our trip to the head-shrinking tribe, I vowed never to work with Richard again. I must be mad to be looking for him. Hey, get ready. Here's Richard's stuff. Seeing him reminded me just how much I hate him.
Trying to sneak up on me.
Just put that knife down. How are you?
¿Cómo está? Hasta la
You're
pasta.
looking thin and muscular.
I'm working out, man. I'm supposed to
How
come
do you
see
like my hat?
I like it. I got
Richard, it's good to see you.
We got a lot to talk about. When can we start work?
Beg like a kitten, Richard.
Our guide Richard Fowler seems most at home at Gringo Bar, surrounded with his clique of washed-up middle-aged Americans.
I'm the first ever non-Peruvian director of tourism in this country, in this whole country, in the history of this country.
This is the market of Berlin, in Iquitos, and it reminds me a lot of Saigon, so I always call this place the Saigon of South America.
Well, here, boys, let's see it. There's 8 girls every guy here, but I can't advertise that. I can't advertise on a web page or whatever. 8 girls every guy, because this place be flooded. But morally, I can't do that.
They've got plenty of skirt on them, and you have to have plenty of this to be able to put up underneath the bottom of the hammock. Pancho. It's a type the shamans use for medicine.
Do we have faith in him that he will be able to take us where we want to go?
Yeah, actually, I was really impressed that he had maps out.
Gentlemen, there it is. Do you know exactly where the pinnacles are? They're right here.
Oh, you think this is 1, 2, 3?
I don't think, I know. We want to go follow this road on down to, I say right here is the best place to cross the river. We need to cross this river.
He is the very best.
He's quite an eccentric. I mean, he's a very strong personality.
Very, because he's a Vietnam vet. And he probably is the only one that went to Vietnam and enjoyed it.
We got the shotgun, the ammo, the license.
What ammo?
It's 12 gauge. I would classify this as like a class 5 type expedition. And the next step besides this, everybody have to go to basic training, and it'd be like everybody have a gun. And believe me, I don't want to hurt a person, a plant, or an animal. I used to just have a, oh my God, follow me. Whew.
Oh my God, they're the Brasileiros.
Class 10.
There'll be times when you're going to just want to frag him at night, you know what I mean?
Have you ever brawled with him or felt like just decking him?
I've squared off with that big son of a bitch, yeah. I have.
He's a big piece you've bitten off, and it takes a lot of chewing. But you'll really enjoy him after you've been with him for a while.
How much do you need straight away?
Oh, as much as you can handle.
Wow. Wait, this is our traveling money.
You're not giving it away.
After paying Richard a lot of hard cash up front, I got very little money left. I see Richard as part guide, part character actor for the film. I just hope he'll give me value for money.
Back in Lima, I've lined up an important meeting. Richard just gets in the way. Had to sneak out of the hotel to avoid him. We've come to meet a famous neurosurgeon called Professor Cabieses. And he's an expert in shrunken heads, but more than that, more importantly for us, he's an expert in the Incas. Can I take a look at your sensor?
Sure.
I've tried so hard to get it to censor. It's impossible. I love them. You can see that the mouth has been sewn. I love it so much. And the hair. On this journey, we've come to search for the lost city of Paititi. Do you think we have any chance of finding Paititi?
I don't think you have a chance.
We don't. Okay.
Statistics are not good.
Are against us.
Huh? Yeah, but the statistics, we say the statistics are like the bikini. They show you everything except what you want to see.
And do you have any advice for us?
Just go ahead. Have fun. Have fun doing it.
To hell with what everybody thinks. I'm taking us all to Nazca. We're going to go grave robbing, and we're going to dig up some mummies, and we're going to learn from those mummies. And hopefully that will be the key, which will enable us to find this bloody lost city. We're trying to get a car that can get us to Nazca where the mummies are. We want a car like this that's lived a little bit. Got to find a cab driver who'll take me to the desert. Every cabbie in town has one thing in common. They love betting on cockfights. Went to one at the Coliseo de Gallos, the cockfighting arena. After a long night at the cockfights, I've got the number of a cabbie who'll take me to the desert. Pretty awesome. And the tires are good. I mean, they're
Really big expedition. You need a lot of crap.
We've got a hell of a lot of crap, Richard. But we've got beautiful yellow walkie-talkies.
I would have called it an airstrike. We call it an airstrike. Far for effect.
These American cars are just so electric. And then It's the first thing that goes. There's no way I could probably ever open this door in an emergency.
Las lunas eran eléctricas, pero...
Sí, los eléctricos. Muy peligroso.
Sí.
We started out with really high morale about 2 hours ago, and since then morale has just dipped. First we had problems with this car, the engine problems.
Oh no.
Then the exhaust fell off that car.
We just lost the exhaust pipe.
And now it's got a flat tire. And we've only gone about like 1 mile. We've got hundreds of miles to go today. And we're making really slow progress.
I'm getting used to Ty's scattered way of approaching his goal. But how will I ever manage to weave Nazca and the mummies into the film? When I ask him, he brushed the question aside, saying we'll fix it with a line of voiceover back in London.
The Nazca lines are astonishing. They can only be seen from the air. A great culture existed here before the birth of Christ, long before the Incas. To understand the Incas, I'm convinced I have to go back in time, got to learn about their ancestors. At midnight, we arrived at the home of grave robbers who live on the edge of an ancient cemetery.
It's not only a mummy, but it's a mummy bundle. I just love these things. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, look at it. The technique of mummification is exactly the same as the shrunken heads, like Cabiesa's shrunken head. You can see the lips have been sewed. It's got a suspension cord. The ears, the eyes and the ears are sealed, so it can't hear the people who are trying to. It can't be in touch with its people. And a warrior would have been buried with this. It's an extraordinary thing.
Oh, they have this here because of the long hair. So you got such a long hair, all these braids. It's a very long hair. Look at that. That's the idea of having this in the house.
We're climbing up now onto the plateau with the actual graves. There are tens of thousands of graves here. It's one of the biggest graveyards still in existence of the ancient Nazca culture, which has existed about 2,000 years ago. And you see, as soon as it's been taken out, animals have probably gnawed at it. I don't know.
What's the hole here?
Oh my God, it's been killed. The guy's been killed.
Or maybe that was a brain tent.
Look at his skin. Look at his skin.
Yeah.
She brought us 2 heads. Here, 2 more heads.
Wow, look at that.
Can you smell the smell of the skin? And you can see the hair. It's just very delicate curls.
Look at it. It's wonderful.
There's some head and shoulders.
Torso.
Wow. The breast.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
See? And there is no cutting. So everything was removed through the vagina.
Right. But look at the skin. You can see how the skin was...
Like a leather.
Yeah. Richard, what are you doing, man?
I'm getting some teeth, man. Relax.
Why?
For a nice necklace for Delicia.
I mean, you guys think I'm weird.
Hey, look, I've knocked real people's teeth out before, you know. I'm getting a few,
Well, it's a big man.
It's a man's...
Jesus, look at that.
Richard, that's in really poor taste. Richard's just taking...
Oh, my God, I burned my arm in that fire, man. Like, God, oh, shit. Tu pensar para viaje en la selva una cabeza de mummy es bueno en la mochila para suerte, para grupo, para expedición?
Estas cabezas mantienen el espíritu de la que cuando fueron en vida. Y hay que echarle un nombre. Se le pone necesariamente un nombre.
The question is, to be debated, would it help the film to have that head? A, it would be cool to have. B, Rodriguez says it will give us good karma. The bad points are we'd be arrested and thrown into jail.
If you take a head back, I think I'll walk out of the desert.
We desperately, desperately want a head. But I've got kind of a feeling that the guy...
Your guide, Carlos, said if the police are going to be waiting for us when we leave.
I'll just dream of my head, and I'll fantasize about my head, and anytime I want to see my head, I'll just come here and be with it.
And anytime you want to get some head, just go to Iquitos.
We're crossing the Andes to get to the Madre de Dios jungle. Tara has popped some Indian sleeping pills. I've come down with a fever, and Richard's constant good mood is terribly annoying.
Oh man, if it gets any better, I don't know if I could stand it.
The next stop is Cusco, the former capital of the Incas.
I think that was the first time in history that a TV crew has traveled on a local bus with all their equipment. I think when we talk about Paititi, this is what I've got in mind. Vast, vast stone structures like that. We know Paititi was a huge city, maybe 3 or 4 times the size of Machu Picchu. It seems incredible that the jungle could overgrow a structure like this, but I think it's totally possible. All this was lost at one time, and it was covered in jungle. Here's Paititi restaurant. Maybe this is an obvious place to ask where Paititi is. We are searching, looking for Paititi.
Se dice que está en la selva peruana, por Madre de Dios.
Paititi, en las montañas.
¿Qué montañas? ¿Dónde exactamente?
En la selva.
Pero Paititi existe, ¿verdad?
Existe.
¿Sí?
Existe.
¿Verdad?
Sí.
Sí, hay ruinas incluso forradas con puro oro.
Mucho oro, sí.
¿Existe, verdad? Mucho oro y plata.
Ajá.
¿Es un viaje muy peligroso?
Muy peligroso.
Hay un problema invisible ahí. Visible, fantasma.
Muy peligroso.
Are we sure that is the pinnacles? Are we completely sure?
I'd stake this whole expedition on that. If I'm wrong, you guys can just shoot me and leave me out there. That's where they're at. Well, I tell you what, here's something else. The stress of the jungle, the insects, the heat, the people getting stressed, that sometimes will make you change your mind, and that'll affect your decision. Like, you'll say, oh, this is bullshit, there's no animals here, there's no city here, let's go back.
Yeah.
Don't get off the boat unless you're ready to go all the way. So you got to make a commitment when you go here to not get, whiny after 2 or 3 days and say, well, that's not here, let's go back. You have to tough it out. No wimps on this trip.
I've heard about a local Paititi hunter called Aparicio. He's a professor at Cusco University. We're going to meet him.
It's the most deep jungle in the area. It's very dangerous also to go in there. And a lot of people came to this area believing, and nobody has found anything. Myself, I went in a lot of expeditions in this area, and I believe it's nothing there.
I found Aparicio's book. It's a great breakthrough.
It's as if he's printed it in his back room or something.
Mentions locations, talks about a mysterious wall of petroglyphs deep in the jungle.
In the history of the New and Old Worlds, Gross Master of the Royal Order of Paititi.
2:30 p.m. I'm going to take Richard to force more information out of Aparicio.
What do the petroglyphs tell us? Do you think they are, of importance? Are they important in finding Paititi?
Yeah, most people believe that it's the door, at least it's the proof of the existence of civilization in that area. You can find the petroglyphs, and the pyramids are in this other tributary, I think, in this area.
The pyramids aren't here.
Yes. Huh?
They're in another
Where are
place.
they?
They're run right next to a mountain range. Every satellite photo, every helicopter shot shows that. They're not down in this flatland. They're up.
Well, okay. Well, you know better than me, I think.
But I've never been there, and you have.
Yeah, the problem getting in the area is by the river, you can go just to this point.
You don't think Paititi is...
Yeah, no.
You have a secret location.
Yeah, we have another location.
Can you tell us exactly where it is for our film?
Oh, well, there.
It's not the way.
That area there.
Okay, let's count them as they're going in.
Yeah.
I'm heading down into the suffocation of trees. The freezing air of the Highlands is gone, exchanged for the humidity of the jungle. I'm full of anticipation. We all are. The producer's sitting beside a man called Carlos. He works for the national park. He seems to know a lot about Paititi. He says he's even searched for it himself. Arrive at Pilcapata, 8:20 p.m.
now in Copata. We want to get to the petroglyphos de Pucharo.
The petroglyph
is here.
Right
here. The zone we're talking about is this, El Parque Nacional del Manu.
Look, we don't have any permits to go into the park.
I don't think we'll need them. If there's a problem, I call Gerald and we're out.
Okay, but
he'll help us.
Okay.
You sure about that? He's the director of tourism.
Nobody can be there without a permission.
Yeah, I can drop him. Okay, feel the push action. I throw you. See how you throw? See how you fall? This is the way to travel in South America.
We're heading straight into the nature reserve, the one I've been so worried about. I don't want to let my filming slow Ty down, so I decided to continue without a permit. How could they possibly call this a park anyway?
Depending on how bad the road is, there's a possibility to take a boat up there.
Well, so we're on the river.
Problems, endless problems. The film team don't have the permit they need. They can't go on without it. They're such idiots. They're holding me up. To make matters worse, they're blaming Richard for their mistakes.
Screw-up number one was to employ Richard to start with. He's totally useless, and now he's acting like he's on some bleeding vacation.
We're just slightly screwed because the boundaries of Manu seem to have changed. We don't have the permit, and Richard's gonna come back to Cusco.
Screw-up number two was that the producer started shouting at him for not having sorted the permit out. I didn't even dare filming it because I was scared Richard would attack me. Screw-up number three was to send Richard back to Cusco to fix the permit that he should have fixed from the start. The tension is rising. Ty is blaming me for the permit problems. That's out of order. After all, he's the guy who wanted to hire Richard in the first place.
The one quality that Richard has, which I find astonishing always, is you can just trash the guy. 2 minutes later, he bounces back, which I love. I like that quality a lot.
The news is, no, it's good. It can only get better. 20 soles for me to go from here to Cusco.
Morale's low. The only consolation is that Richard's not around. I'm going to spend time making contact with the locals. They must have the answers I need. 2:45 p.m. Crossed the river and found a village. Suddenly doors are opening. Heard of an old man who's interested in Paititi too.
Llegar antes, porque la lluvia, el viento, había mucho.
El nativo que conoce jamás les va a revelar a ustedes. Hay un señor que conoce y a él tienen dos para que le lleven al sitio.
The old man lives here. Who knows? Or what?
Entonces allí tiene las coordenadas, todo de en qué parte está, de aquí a qué distancia, todo tiene en un plano. Él tiene una relación pues con el nativo.
Could we go up to meet him at his chakra?
¿Cómo se halla?
Hay camino pues ahora.
The old man's name is Eduardo. He lives 3 hours away. There's no time to waste. We've set out to find him.
Ahora tiene miedo, pobrecito.
Nothing gets you down like jungle rain. David's been complaining about getting the camera wet. What the hell does he expect? This is rainforest. It's only going to get worse.
The guy thinks he knows where Paititi is, which is great.
El Paititi está allá. ¿Usted ha sido cerca de este lugar? ¿O hay alguien que ha? No muy cerca, alguna proximidad, pero hay personas que sí conocen. Están acá.
And he wants to go there, which is great. He says we have to purify our souls in 3 months.
Yo soy cristiano, me he bautizado como Cristo Jesús se bautizó, y yo recomiendo, porque no debemos ser viciosos. Mire, vamos a empezar a caminar, usted por lo menos 3 meses. No tiene que abrazar a su esposa, no tiene que hacer esa cosa, fumar un cigarrillo, tomarse un trago. Tiene que el espíritu limpio.
But we've told him we're pure already, so we've cut all that bullshit.
Después de los petrolíferos hay una energía contraria, negativa. La brújula loca se pone.
But now he says we've got to wait for the rain to stop, which is another 3 months.
Ese pongo, esa pared, ese cerro y este cerro, por ahí pasa el río, por ahí vamos a pasar, porque por allá arriba, por acá es un poco difícil, muy difícil. Entonces, está lleno de agua. No se puede en este tiempo.
We have to do it now. We can do it. We can do it. Well, you can tell him we have to solve, to find Paititi, we have to solve problems. And this is our first problem to solve. I mean, if we don't do it now, finished. The outcome is we're going to meet him in 3 days down in Santa Cruz. And we're going to talk more. But there's something about the guy. I mean, he looks like a character, and he looks like the sort of person who knows something. He says he's an esoteric person, and he only wants to find Paititi for the spirit of man.
Do you think we're going on an expedition?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Cool, Richard.
Wow. It's not a great surprise that Richard failed to fix the permit.
Okay. He couldn't get a permit.
So I got a ride this morning.
But I'm determined to get some value for money. I want to film Richard in the jungle, but I had to beg the producer not to fire him. Not yet.
Okay. Let me show you what I found out. You want to hear? Okay. Good. Okay.
Okay. If there ever was a script for this film, this was not in it.
Sorry, we got a problem. What? There's something that's happened.
What's going on?
We're missing tapes.
What do you mean we're missing tape?
I think.
How many are we missing?
Well, we're missing all the tapes with the that was marked Peru.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. If someone was going to steal something, they'd steal passport or money. They're not going to steal tapes.
No. I mean, I don't know. I haven't. It's a scary thought, but I think. I mean, it's only Richard's only. Look, you even left a note for it.
How did Richard get access to this bag?
He had his boots in that bag.
Dear guys, if you get this, at least one of you made it back. I hope you had a safe trip and found what you were looking for. Let me know how it was and when you get in. Good luck. I am sure we will be in touch. Aku. That sounds, I'm sure we will be in touch sounds a bit ominous. But let's get Gerald on the phone and get Gerald to talk to Richard. And, I mean, this is not good for Richard. It makes him a criminal.
Okay, so it's sort of extortion. I mean, it's...
He's got the tape.
Yeah. I mean, they say if we pay the money, our problem will be resolved.
Hello?
Hello, Alan. This is Leon calling. Did you get my email?
Yeah.
What's happening? Where are the tapes?
What?
Where are the tapes?
I don't know anything about that. All I know is you guys need to pay Richard, and you promised him to hear. If you have a problem, I think it can be resolved.
It's a chilling thought that just a couple of weeks earlier, we had put our lives in Richard's hands and let him lead us into the jungle. The following events come from reels of film that Richard didn't find.
It don't matter, you know, what you're shooting. Whoever can get the most fire out and make that guy keep his head down the longest gives us a chance to move in. Right. So we did what we call suppressive firepower. We would put out such a wall of fire that we could move forward on our enemy and fucking eliminate them. They'd see us coming, they'd fucking haul ass. What they usually do with a new guy is they'd get an experienced guy and a new guy, and they'd take you out and you'd get on each side of the trail. All of a sudden you see part of a guy, and he's looking around, and he's looking at the ground, and he's coming along. So you get kind of like this buck fever thing, you know, you kind of, God, you're getting ready to kill a guy, and you raise it up, and you just fucking, you lock onto the body or the head. If you see his body, you're trying to shoot for the body, and you just let out a burst, and then there's people going, way to go, man, way to go, you finally got it, you get a case of beer, man, you know, fuck, way to go, and they're shaking, and you're being praised. And it's like a really kind of a sick fucking feeling because of that. Yeah. To do it as your job, and that's what you're supposed to do is one thing, but all of a sudden all these guys you kind of cross the line with them, and now you're one of the guys.
You've been initiated.
Yeah, and they're praising you for it.
It's so beautiful here. The jungle's alive around me.
Any guy I know back in the States that deserves a bullet in the fucking head, they'd throw me in jail the rest of my life.
Richard's endless campfire stories of killing and death are making us all uneasy. I wish David would stop filming him. The camera only fuels his memories.
Killing is our business, and business has been good. Another one was, and it's like a paratrooper coming down, you know, a cartoon character with a machine gun coming out with a parachute, you know. It says, when we rain death, it's always fair weather.
Day 3. We've already reached the pinnacles. They're a dead end. They're natural formations, definitely not man-made. There's nothing of interest here. The Incas never would have built Paititi in a place so easy to get to. We're on the way back from the pinnacles. Richard's got a fever. He's trying to hide it, but he can't. I'm kicking myself for hiring him in the first place. He's becoming a liability.
I had expected Richard to be tougher than this, after all that macho talk of his days back in Vietnam. As a jungle guide, he's worthless, but as an antagonist in the film, he's just fine.
No es malaria, es un resfrío, le duele un poco.
He can't stand being filmed while he's ill.
Oh, cool. Recognition and self-treatment of malaria. This is brilliant. This is exactly what I needed. Okay.
Man.
See. How are you feeling?
Cold. I got 3 shirts on.
Wrap yourself in the sleeping bag.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the proper steps, but it's like got the fever startles me because I haven't had a fever in like 7 years.
My search for Paititi has ground to a halt.
Let me ask you, if something happened to that camera, we could probably go home early, right?
Richard's really sick. He's become very, very aggressive. He says he'll kill anyone who touches him, but he's weak and getting weaker. Maybe he'll die. 9:25 a.m. Richard's up and he says he's better. He's been ill for a week. He says he won't go on. He's going home. What's he seen that's made him so scared?
Yeah, I know, but it's time. Yeah.
We've talked about this between ourselves, obviously, and we've expected you to wimp out. We've expected that. Okay.
I'm not wimping out.
No,
I'm ready to go on, but I want to be paid for my time, and I've spent going on 6 weeks with you guys.
Richard, we've spent 5.5 days in the jungle, 6 days with you.
Well, wasn't my fault.
You did admit when we were in Shintoya that the permit was your problem. You should have thought of it.
Yeah, I didn't know where your heads were going and what direction you were
I'm
going.
not even going to have this conversation because we had it.
Okay.
It's not like we have bundled. You
haven't bundled up nothing. You haven't listened to anything.
No, right. So that's why I don't understand anything. Anyway, I'm putting to you what I know, so that you will know clearly what I think, and that is the following: you have a chance not to make an utter fool of yourself, and finish this thing. That is your chance.
Bullshit.
It sounds like we'd be better off without you.
Yeah. I'm not, wouldn't hurt you guys. I just want you to know I'm not defenseless. I'm not just somebody you're going to push around. I got some teeth, and I got, some people have a Ways and Means Committee. I got a Ways to Be Mean Committee. And I don't want to be fucked with. You fuck with me, you're going to hear about it,
Well, I guess this is goodbye then.
Well, goodbye. It's been a long goodbye. Sin Salabib. Write me in Tallulah. Write me in Paititi. Speaking of Paititi, that pair of Paititi.
So, this is where Richard goes back to Cusco to steal our film. Well, let him. Meanwhile, Tara's pinned all its hope with his new lead, Eduardo.
We're free! We're free of Richard Fowler.
We're learning how to use the GPS.
Eduardo moved here 18 years ago. He wanted to escape the stress of city life. There's a desperation in his tale, as if he's running from something. His family back him, but they think he's crazy. He's desperate to achieve something before it's too late. His time's slipping away.
¿A dónde se han ido 30 años?
My expedition is his last chance, and he knows it. Eduardo knows a family from the Machiginga tribe. The target area for Paititi lies inside their ancestral lands. Their oldest son is called Pancho. He lives up on the Palatoa River off the Madre de Dios. Eduardo says this is the wrong time of year for an expedition. The rivers are too high, the weather too bad, but I can't wait. After much coaxing, he's agreed to take me to meet Pancho.
Necesita entrenamiento. Necesita como dicen, purificarse un poco, ¿no? Cultivar el espíritu de desprendimiento, no tener ambición por nada en lo que pueda haber allá. La máxima ambición de ustedes puede ser la filmación.
Eduardo's a dreamer. He rants on about curses and veiled evil. If he talked less and did more, he would have found Paititi by now.
Son nativos agresivos, ya han muerto ya varios extranjeros ahí arriba. No, ellos no van a preguntar, hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué haces acá? ¿Por qué vienes? No te van a preguntar. Estás viendo la ropa, todo lo que ven, la cámara que está filmando. Saben que su flechazo te cae y es envenenada la flecha. Eso está lleno de maldiciones de los brujos de los incas.
I mean, Eduardo is obviously a complete Fruit Loop, and he's saying there are UFOs up there and there are wild witches and stuff, but I've got a feeling there's something up there.
Aquí hay muchas personas ahí en las alturas que andan buscando los tapados. ¿Qué cosas son los tapados? Son tesoros que alguien dejó, por decir, 100 años, 200 años, 500 años atrás. Entonces, ese oro, esa plata enterrada, a veces son 10 kilos, 20 kilos, 30 kilos, 50 kilos, ¿no? Para ir a sacarlo, tiene que hacerse un pago a la tierra. ¿Cómo se paga la tierra? Con un perro, lo matan ahí, o de repente, si la cosa es grande, matan a un hombre.
Eduardo's story about Pancho. While out hunting far upriver as a young man, Pancho discovered a massive series of ruins. He found a hatchet buried there, its blade adorned with gold. He took it to his father, who said that the ruins were cursed. He ordered Pancho to put the hatchet back at once and forget about the ruins. Pancho did as he was told. He returned the hatchet, but he couldn't forget. We've arrived in time for the annual carnival. Pancho's nowhere to be seen. Eduardo's forbidden me to ask the natives anything about the lost city. Pancho has been sworn to secrecy. If he works with me, the tribe will punish him, maybe even kill him. PM, Eduardo's telling Pancho's story to the film team. I wish he'd spend less time telling tales and more time getting Pancho to lead the way.
Y había sacado un hacha de oro.
Pancho's ambition is the opposite of my own. I long to find a lost city overgrown and deserted. He dreams of a live city bustling with people and traffic. Pancho stepped out of his hut to surprise me. I promised him that if he can take me to the ruins of Paititi, then I'll take him to Lima. He's agreed. We've made a pact, but he can't leave now. It's still too dangerous. Everyone's watching. Eduardo says I have to be patient. He knows wasting time drives him mad, but there's no choice. I have to leave Pancho behind for now. Find his younger brother, Japon, further upriver. It isn't what I'm hoping for, but at least we're moving.
I find it hard to believe that Eduardo knows two natives that both know exactly where the lost city lies. But maybe it will turn out the way Tara hopes after all, that he will just stumble upon the lost city in the end.
Are you okay?
We've stopped at Abaroa. Pancho's mother lives here. She's served up buckets of masato, a milk-like beer made from cassava roots, chewed by her, fermented in her saliva.
Hemos llegado a la puerta.
It's so warm. Don't make me drink this stuff.
I've done my best to avoid it. Ultimately, I've had to give in.
Den is first.
Pancho's mother says her youngest son, Japon, has gone further upriver to hunt tapir.
It'll make you feel better.
Wow. Leon got bitten last night. Show us your bite story.
I didn't get bitten. But the strange thing was Leon was in a mosquito net. But things are going to get much worse before we find Paititi. So get used to it.
Ahead of me is Pusharo and the petroglyphs. Beyond them, Eduardo says we'll reach a vast chasm, the gateway to Paititi. Torrential rain has raised the water level. It's up to our necks in places. I'm hoping we'll find Pancho's brother, Japon, that we can talk him into taking us to the ruins.
It's getting serious. If Tara can't get through the chasm that Eduardo talks about and has to turn back, then I risk not to be able to finish the film. There's no way I'll be able to afford to come back to the jungle with all my gear a second time.
I don't know how anyone can have a monkey living on their head. See? There's a fire.
Amazing. After 7 days of walking in the middle of nowhere, we spot a plume of smoke through the trees. It's Japon's camp. But he isn't the only surprise. We've now reached Pusharo and the wall of petroglyphs.
What a wall.
High five, man.
Look at that.
God, it's so like the monkey at Nazca.
Yeah.
Wow, weird.
I'm getting sick of Eduardo. I count on him to help me, but he's not. He won't let me ask Japon about the lost city. I'm taking charge. I've ordered him to bring the Indian over to our camp.
We've got to find out about it. I mean, and if the guy who knows about it is sitting over there, we really have to ask him.
Eduardo's given in. 2 hours since my last note, Eduardo's lured Japon over, using hard liquor as the bait.
God, this is... Oh, gracias.
They drank it all in one.
Oh, they did? Should we give a bit more? Mucho insectos.
Va a ser como un dibujo del muralla grande.
3:35 p.m. I sketched an Inca stone wall in the sand. Does it remind Japon of the ruins? One of my porters has just translated my question.
Sí hay.
Ay, arriba, arriba. Mucho. Ay, ay, ay.
En dialecto pregúntale, ¿qué grave?
¿Dónde?
Che ti hanno dato ottima piano mica, ottima. Io ho detto comunque intatto, io tengo davanti a detto che è intatto anche. Ho contento. No.
¿Conoce la palabra Paititi? Dile, pe.
Capiniero che canta guarda. Anda guarda. Ya scelto lo pecca. Tenga in mano. Ya scelto?
Sí, cuando.
It's always the same. They smile gently, but they tell you nothing. Mucho lluvia.
Dile que dale las gracias porque ha conversado con nosotros. Dile.
It's like getting water out of a stone, though. Coming from the West, you think you ask someone a question and you'll get an answer, especially if they know the answer. But you squeeze it and squeeze it, and it won't tell you anything.
Eso existe y bueno, ya sabe usted las condiciones cómo hay que llegar allá. Bueno, existe eso. Es cierto.
I'm losing faith in Eduardo. He won't stick his neck out to help.
We've got to go upriver, guys. That's all there is to it.
Late at night, when everybody was asleep, Tari crept out of the camp and back to the petroglyphs. I followed him with a video camera, keeping a distance not to be noted.
I believe out of all these symbols, the one that speaks loudest to me is this, is the serpent, is the snake, which at the same time it's the river going between the mountains, and this is Paititi. I've got no doubt that it's there, it's waiting for us. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what will happen in the next few days? Anything could happen. We just have to get up the river.
The river's got much colder over the last week. Maybe we're just getting used to it. Without warning, the river swept into a chasm. The water sealed the gateway shut, just like Eduardo said it would.
Clapper, okay. After a huge struggle, we've got this far to this enormous chasm, which people, Eduardo calls the gateway to Paititi. But the big problem is there's so much water coming through the river, we can't get up it. And now it makes sense. Everybody's been telling us, you crazy, crazy, crazy gringos, what the hell is going through your minds? And now I do see what they mean. I mean, it isn't easy.
Eduardo insists there's no way forward. I've begged him to go on, at least until our lives are in danger. He's warned me. I'm becoming overpowered with greed. Says we must go back, then return later on in the year when the gateway's open. He's promised me that next time, Pancho will be my guide.
Que está ahí, como es el futuro descubridor del Paititi, que diga la próxima vez, hasta aquí hoy día, pero la próxima vez no bajo sin poner las plantas de mis pies en el Paititi.
Bloody hell, this will cause me serious problems. Tar is determined to return to the jungle when the rainy season is over. We hardly talked during the long, grim journey back to London, and we communicated very little during the 5 torturous months we waited there before making our way back to Madre de Dios. This time, Tara has managed to raise most of the money for the expedition himself. But he knows I'm as committed to finish the film as he is to find the lost city.
It's incredible to be back here. This is the end of the world. My stomach's tight with anticipation. The great question is Pancho. Is he ready now to be my guide? I struck camp near Eduardo's house. He hasn't set up the expedition. He hasn't done a bloody thing in the last 5 months.
Eduardo! He said to us 5 months ago, relax, come back in 5 months. And tell him we are here now.
And you tell my God, God, it's very important.
God, por favor, Paititi, ahora.
Yeah.
We're having to waste precious time while someone fetches Pancho.
We don't have much time before it rains, actually.
Okay.
See the Easter?
Yeah, I see it.
Eduardo, what news do you have?
Pancho está listo para ir el viernes.
Okay.
Pero está mareado, está borracho.
So Pancho's ready to come?
But he's drunk.
But he's drunk. That's fine. What's a little alcohol between friends?
Eduardo has set up a rendezvous with Pancho, a day's journey upriver. I can only hope that my deal with him is still on. Pancho's value is enormous. He has seen the ruins with his own eyes, found the golden hatchet buried among them. Whether I like it or not, I've got to put myself in his hands.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were passing the Machaginga village at Pantiacoya, and we stopped to pay the toll at this really, really greedy tribe. And we were really surprised because Pancho was there on the shore, and we just scooped him up and brought him along. Yeah?
Regalo.
Regalo. Eh?
Yeah. Salud. Salud. Salud.
He's just been given a lantern and a cigarette and a big stiff drink, and he's smiling, so that's good. We've just got to keep him smiling. At the moment, he almost seems a bit dazed. He's sort of reeling about. Apparently, he's drunk a huge amount of Misato, this local alcohol, in the last few days. So maybe he's got an incredible hangover. Yeah, he doesn't really seem to know what he's doing with us, so I think we should get him drunk and just keep him drunk and comatose all the time. And when we need him to point out where the ruins are, we'll let him thaw out and...
Oh, see. He says 5 days up to the Inca house. The ruins.
My heart goes pitter-patter, when Pancho talks about ruins. Pitter-patter.
Mañana va a venir. Sí, estoy esperando va a venir. ¿Ya? Muy bien, Pancho.
Even though we bribed Pancho with an obscene amount of liquor, cigarettes and gifts, he insisted on returning home for the night.
Well, do you think he'll come back?
I think it's more dangerous to not let him go.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen anyone suck up to a person.
We tied his shoelace.
We even tied his shoelaces. Yeah.
8:30 a.m. We're waiting for Pancho. I've been getting the equipment ready, begging the film crew to chuck out half the rubbish they brought along.
Everything's going according to plan. We've got everything loaded up. But it's a good sign. Pancho's got some arrows. So that means he wants to go hunting.
From the start, there are problems with Pancho. I hope this isn't something Eduardo has come up with by himself.
No, yo hablo con Pancho, lo encontré a Pancho a Palma y a la Peco lo encontré en el camino.
Y ha dicho Pancho que no quiere.
Le ha dicho que ellos ya no quieren que pase de Picharo.
It's very murky. Well, we just have to keep moving and take it bit by bit. And when Pancho wants to walk out on us, we just have to try and get him to stay. That's all. Pancho, listo?
Amigo.
Oh my God! Guys, it's deep already. And I'm only out like 3 feet. Adelante!
Words can't describe the joy I feel. Not only are we moving upriver, but Pancho's with us.
You want to know why I'm angry? I'm angry because we almost died last night. At about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I saw a place to camp, and I knew that by 6 o'clock, night falls just so suddenly you could never believe it. And I said to the producer, let's stop for the night now. The guys are cold and they're tired, and a huge storm is coming. We were encircled by enormous black storm clouds. And the producer said, no, let's go on. There's no need for it. Then the lightning storm hit. It was like something out of Hollywood. There was just lightning all over us. There was so much lightning, and it was so dangerous that we couldn't even film. I just want to say thank you to the guys, because that was very hard out there. Es muy especial. Es comida muy especial de Inglaterra. Hot noodle.
It was my decision to continue. I wanted us to endure hardship, because hardship looks great on film. But instead, it put the entire expedition in jeopardy. All the film cans had to be opened and dried out.
Drying out stuff, mending boats, fishing, and just generally regrouping.
One thing boats have holes in the floor that will take water.
Yeah, that.
The next hurdle is to get past Pancho's family's village. Eduardo is worried that they may talk him out of coming with us. The difference between Japón and his brother Pancho is striking. Japón wears the traditional necklaces and the toucan feathers of the tribe, while Pancho shuns the traditions. He's got his mind on fast women, discos and city life. Pancho is an outsider here in his own society. He doesn't have a wife and children to tie him down. He's desperate to break free, to see the bright lights of my world. Been pushing the expedition on. We're moving forward with appalling slowness, the rocks taking a terrible toll on the rubber boats. Day after day, we're struggling ahead up the rapids, advancing no more than a few feet at a time.
Ahí está otro, mira, ahí está otro. Está muy rico. A ver, pregunte ya cómo está rico, ¿no? No, está rico. El pesito está más rico.
Sí, rico. Carne es buena.
This isn't a very happy time. My sleeping bag is soaking wet, and that's a no-no. My lips swelling up. You see that?
Bolero!
Bolero.
De Cuba.
So, after last night's talk with Pancho, you still think there are ruins?
Yeah, sure, I think there are ruins. I think there are ruins more than I've ever thought there are ruins. When did he see the ruins?
Como Calixto, 18 años.
Pancho, again and again, and last night again he said there are ruins about 1 day north of Pucharo on the river. Does this remind him?
Eso, piedra igual punto acá, más grande es.
Más grande?
Sí, un poco grande.
But then he came out with this whole new garbled message that if we go a whole cycle of the moon and more, which is more than 30 days, we'll get to an even bigger set of ruins. So maybe the one day away is a smaller outpost, and 30 days away is the big city itself.
Pancho, gracias.
The story changes every time a little bit, but it sounds as if we're on track, yeah. Very soon, I think we'll have to ditch the boats and and continue on foot. I mean, you can see it's dry there, so we could easily just walk up. Because this is killing the guys, and it's just ripping the boats to bits. And Pusharo is just here. I mean, it's just very, very close now.
We're at Pusharo again. Eduardo says this is where Pancho was ordered to leave us by his tribe.
It's like a dream. I've driven through this place every night since I left it.
When I asked Pancho about the wall, he told me to listen.
Dentro del muro, habla, se escucha hablar.
I listened and listened, but heard nothing.
¿Tú crees que el ciudad grande está? Sí. ¿Sí? Sin Pancho. No.
We're closing in on the gorge again. As the team pushes ahead, I'm praying that the water will be lower this time, that the gateway to Paititi will be open. To my surprise, Pancho hasn't run off. He's still with us. 11:20 a.m. Without warning, Pancho has stopped the expedition.
What's over there? Pancho said that there was ruins.
Could this mean we're at the ruins already?
This way, sire.
Does this mean that we walked straight past them 5 months earlier?
I don't know what he's trying to show us, but this is similar to Shara. There we are.
Here's Pancho. Let's talk to Pancho.
Yeah.
It's a cave.
Do we have a strong light here? Can you see anything?
Incas, ruinas del Inca. Pancho's saying that these are Inca ruins, but all we can see is a wall of stone. I can't quite see what Pancho's going on about.
Solo una piedra, ¿no?
Sí, solo piedra.
He was pointing at a sort of angular symbol here. I don't know what it's got to do with anything. This isn't the small ruins.
Well, that's
I mean, even for someone who doesn't know anything about Incas, this has nothing to do with Incas. I think we've got to have a hard session with him and start getting some clear answers. I mean, otherwise, it's not worth us having him at all. We always fix ourselves on someone who we think can tell us the story, the truth. I mean, it happened with Richard, with Eduardo, Pancho, and then when push comes to shove, they're just fantasists.
Yeah.
So we may have to cut him loose.
The plot's thickening. Pancho seems content with the plain rock wall he showed us. Tara is obviously disappointed, but he won't let it drag him down. Instead, he increases the pace.
Thank you, don't go there, it's very dangerous there. You can go down there. Here she goes!
Eduardo's right. This time the water flowing through the chasm is far lower. The door to Paititi is open, but the water's too shallow to continue with the boats. We've got to ditch them. We've got to carry all the film crew's supplies and equipment.
Okay, Ty, we're closing in on the spot that we reached once before.
Yeah, this is the huge chasm at Pusharo, just near Pusharo, the so-called gateway of Paititi. So I'm really upbeat about that, really excited. But then I'm very downbeat as well.
It's turning out that everything Pancho has told us, he's now going back on a lot of his story.
What's Tar going to do next? I want to be patient and to let things unfold naturally, but I can't wait. I have to ask him. Is he going to go on?
If we stop, then all the questions that we have at the moment will remain unanswered. The only way to get answers is to keep moving.
Jose talked to Pancho last night.
Right, so what does Jose think Pancho's going to do?
Yo le he dicho que vamos a caminar 7 días. Y vamos con nosotros. Le he dicho 7 días. Le he dicho, vamos.
Yeah, I'm still worried that Pancho's going to split and take food.
No, no creo. Eso es propio del mestizo. El nativo no. El nativo es muy puro, no, muy puro, muy transparente.
I understand. I don't necessarily agree with him. But does he have any feeling on what Pancho knows about the ruins?
Puede saber como no también, ¿no? O sea, de repente conoce el lugar, pero no sabe qué es.
It's very difficult.
I'm getting more worried about Pancho. How can I trust him? He showed me a plain rock face and says it's Inca ruins. I'm worried that Pancho will desert us. He could steal all the food we've stashed for our return journey.
I mean, it's happened to us before when Richard stole the tapes, and we didn't think there was a danger then. The big thing is, if we're going to make it up the river 30 kilometers, we've got to cut down on the amount of stuff. I mean, we can reduce by 80 or 90 kilos, I think. I'm sure we can. You've got to sort out your film gear. And just the boats. Getting rid of the boats, that's 75 kilos right there. If we don't cover the ground, there's absolutely no hope at all.
Tar has now turned his distress towards me. He wants me to give up more than half my equipment so we can move faster. He might be right, but how can I continue if I can't charge batteries or carry enough film to finish my documentary?
Okay, we're just about ready to leave. Tell them that women are going to be looking at this film and they're going to think the man who can hold the tripod is just the sexiest man. Wow.
Sí.
Well, he's a bright guy. It's your stuff again that's holding us up.
Pablo Pizarro. Sí vamos a llegar a donde él quiere llegar. Sí vamos a llegar.
The lack of porters and the mass of film gear has meant we've got to leapfrog forward. At this rate, we're not going to get anywhere. I wish I could get rid of the film crew. They're destroying my chances of success. We're on autopilot, walking like zombies.
Félix Quispe. Posiblemente sí. Claro. Más arriba. Más arriba.
Pancho's always silent when I try to talk to him about the route, but it seems like he's leading us up to the head of the Pini Pini River.
Flyer? Okay, amigos, I'm going. Vamos. Let's go.
Oh, did somebody take my bag?
Sergio Teña, yo pienso que debemos continuar hasta donde podamos.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Calisto Guarancasi.
¿Hay algo más arriba?
Sí.
¿Sí? ¿Qué hay?
Reino.
¿Sí?
Sí, reino.
The men have slaughtered an endangered tapir. Damn them. I hate it, but I haven't the energy to stop them. All I can think of is Pancho's story, of what he says he's seen. Pancho has spent days smoking the meat. Why is he playing games with me? Why did he deliberately mislead me? I'm going to interrogate Pancho tonight for the 1000th time. We need concrete answers.
Pancho.
Has he seen real walls made from hand-carved stone, not like the natural cliff face he showed me?
No, no.
When I started talking about the golden hatchet he'd found, Pancho insisted that he had no idea what I was talking about.
If he took us to ruins, we could give him a lot of money. and we could take him to Lima.
Pancho didn't give in, even when I reminded him of our deal. Pancho is so sincere, I now believe him. He's never seen any ruins at all. I'm going to turn to Eduardo for advice.
If we don't have Pancho to show us, if Pancho won't show us, do we still have a chance of finding ruins?
Con el GPS, una brújula, podemos llegar a la cabecera del Piñipín, que se supone ahí está, se supone. No puedo decirte ahí está, pero yo creo que Pancho sí conoce. ¿Por qué? Porque Cachán, su padre, vivía allá arriba. La historia del hacha que contó allá, él dijo que sí, Cachán me cuenta, a mí. Entonces, y Pancho dice, sí, cierto, yo la dejé ahí, dice, pero no dice dónde la dejó. Se convierte Pancho en el personaje central, ¿no?
His rock-solid belief in Pancho makes me realize how short-sighted I've been. Eduardo has cautioned me on the price of doubt. He says it could cost us everything, that the only way to succeed is to believe and to keep moving.
I mean, Pancho is still with us. We thought he would be leaving us this morning, didn't we?
Yeah, that surprised me. They even built a raft to make their great escape. Then when we said, are you leaving to go back downriver tomorrow, they said, no, we're coming with you. So they're coming with us, and they're carrying stuff. I don't know what their motive is, what their plan is.
Do you think he still might have a secret that he wants to share with you?
I do think there's something up here again. For a while, when Pancho said he didn't know where the ruins are, you saw me, my morale hit rock bottom. I was completely knocked down with depression. But again, I'm just picking up the vibes of the place. Look at this place.
To ease the burden on the porters, Tarek carries all his personal gear himself. But I can't possibly carry a load and film at the same time. I'm trying to film an expedition, but instead I'm becoming a part of it, destroying the very thing I'm trying to document.
It's you guys who are suffocating the expedition. I'm sorry, but it's true. No, look.
There will be no point for us to continue without these things.
You've got a light.
You wanted to bring that light.
You've got boat repair stuff. We don't even have the boat yet. You've got far too much white tape. You've got rolls of this tape that you've never, ever used.
We use that tape every day. Again, I've promised to leave more film stuff. I don't know what, but we're probably leaving the generator, so from now on it's only the batteries that we have charged that will do the job.
As if things aren't bad enough, Eduardo says we've now reached the place of negative energy.
De aquí, caminando al tercer pongo, entra al organismo un desánimo, flojera, cansancio. Esas son las fuerzas negativas. Incomprensión entre el grupo.
Covered less than 20 miles in the last week. The only joy is seeing the pain I'm causing the film crew. It serves them right for weighing my men down with so much useless gear. The river doubles back on itself endlessly. Every bend looks like the bend before it.
We're sitting on a sort of island here.
We were lost. I was about to give the order to turn back. Then Pancho suddenly pointed to the top of the ridge. What's Pancho pointing to? The ruins.
I wonder if Ty really believes in what Pancho tells him now. Is he sure that Pancho will show him something if he follows him into the jungle? All I know is I need to follow Taro to get an ending for my film.
¿Vamos con el agua más?
Sí, más fácil algo. Entonces caminando,
5 días.
Sí, 5 días, pues está aquí ya para llegar.
Por las ruinas.
The Taro's hostility of my equipment has pushed us further and further apart. He refuses to speak to me about it.
I'm certain that there's something up there.
The porters have refused to enter the jungle canopy. We've got no choice. They have to leave the river and trek into the trees. We have to go now.
Paititi, which leads to the ruins. So I want to go up there. Are any of them broken?
Yeah, lots of them are broken.
They're such stupid idiots. They just smash them around, and there's bloody hell. They can still be fine. Why don't they not have rice this morning? Why don't they have rations instead? We've got very little rice there. We don't need rice with it. Tell him he can't use this rice, okay? The rice is to be kept. I'm now making decisions. Okay. This is crazy. We've got 30-pot noodles that are broken. I don't care about his. This make me really angry. That's like the last of the rice. They're just cooking all the food they've got. I mean, it's just they don't think ahead. They don't plan, and that's what can really screw us up. Can you ask them who's going to stay up the mountain with us overnight?
Pedro y Julio.
Y los otros?
Los otros vuelven.
Why are they scared of the mountain? Peligroso?
Mucho zancudo.
But can you tell them I'm not frightened of the mosquitoes? So why? Can you say I'm feeling ashamed for them because I am much stronger, because I don't have a mosquitero, and I'm staying up that mountain because I'm not frightened, and they're frightened, like children, las niños.
No es que tengamos. No, es que vamos a estar incómodos. El problema es que arriba no hay agua.
Here, para tú, amigo. Okay? Agua. ¿Tú tienes agua? You can stay up the mountain now. What is his excuse? Come on, what is your excuse? Why are you afraid?
No.
I mean, I know what these guys are like, guys like that. As soon as they decide they don't want to do something, they'll come up with every excuse. It's that their mother has died, their finger hurts, they haven't got enough food, there's not enough water. There's a bloody stream going up there. I mean, if they're going to be shaking all night and wetting themselves, that's fine. Let them come down if they're too frightened. They're so pathetic.
9:15 a.m. It's not the time for excuses. Men will have to come with me whether they like it or not.
I shouted at them and now some of them are coming to stay up there. All you have to do is pretend they're not macho. Just tell them they're little girls and then they'll do anything completely wrong. I'm leaving. Ciao.
Vamos, David. Camina Paititi.
Tari cranks up the pace again. Now it definitely feels like he's trying to get rid of me once and for all. But I'm not going to give him the joy of seeing me give up.
Dormir. Ahora. It's me who wants to get to the top, but they're just... Those are the guys with stamina. How's it going? Well... It is interesting. It's like a big step, isn't it? I mean, this notch which is cut out of it, it really is too angular to be natural.
Any doubts I ever had about Pancho have melted away. Discovering the block of stone is proof enough that Pancho is leading us to the ruins. It's charged me with energy. Despite the incline, we're gathering speed.
My cameraman has started to lag behind. Filming in the dense undergrowth is even harder for him than the slippery rocks were in the river below, but I'm pushing on.
Vamos. Entra. Vamos, chicos, vamos. Ya.
1,125. Oh, you said 65.
76.
76.
Vamos a llegar a...
I've tried taking the camera myself, but soon saw just how difficult it is.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm okay, but the camera, oh, shit.
Every now and then we reach a rock face. Each one's harder to scale than the last.
If this goes click. Come down as soon as you can, because we're camping down here. Gracias, Giovanni, well done. Pancho isn't saying anything, but I know he knows. He knows. Arriba, las ruinas. Saying, go on the slope down there to the camp.
Relations with the film crew are getting worse. We hardly talk. I can't bear to look at them. They've got no business being in the jungle.
Even though we never speak about it, not even when we break for camp at night, I can sense Tar's hope that I'll give up the next morning.
We're in a little camp at 1,300 meters. We haven't reached the top yet. All our porters deserted us, except for Pancho.
It's not nearly as bad as he's pretending it is.
We're having a great time.
This rain never lasts very long.
Wow, this is just as high.
Mark, this is longer. Okay, this is getting bad now. No, Mark, what is...
Late that night, I saw Tar by the campfire. I fetched the camera and took my chance to ask some questions. It was a moment of ceasefire between us.
What's the idea of exerting yourself to a discomfort like this?
It is uncomfortable, and right now that's a very good example. We're halfway, or we're nearly at the top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere in Peru, and this is uncomfortable. It's been pouring with rain. We're covered in bugs and stuff. But it shows us what lousy, luxurious lives we live in the West. We take for granted hot showers. We take for granted meals in nice restaurants, or even a McDonald's meal. We've been eating lousy, soggy food and getting drenched every night. This is the real world. This is what it's all about. If I can be following something, if I can be on the trail of something, then I am alive. Look at us. Look at us. We're fired up. We've got the tremendous hope that just up there, 100 meters more, there's a stone road that will lead us to Paititi. When do you have that feeling when you're sitting in a pub or a bar in London? When do you have that feeling of that lust, that great hope, that great sense of adventure? You don't have it. When you're in the illusionary world of the West, you're dead. You don't have any feelings. You have nothing.
So, if we don't find anything, if there's no road, if we don't find any ruins, will this trip still have made you felt like you've achieved something?
Let me ask you a question. The question is, when you set off, when you first came to Peru, okay, you thought you might find the city, you didn't know, maybe we'll find it, maybe you didn't, but now when you go back, are you the same person who set out from London? Are you the same person who's going back? And the answer, I'll answer it for you. No way are you the same person. I know the experience is so deep. The experiences we've had are so deep that we're returning different people. And that is the great adventure. That is what matters. That's what counts.
Without warning, Pancho left at dawn. I rushed after him towards the top of the ridge. If only I could get inside his mind and see what he's thinking.
My cameraman and the porters have refused to go any further. I scramble together what little gear I can carry myself and leave the camp behind. But I can't continue without help, and I don't have enough food.
You don't get that in nature. Look at these rocks. I mean, there are, again and again, we're seeing stones which were faced by the Incas. I mean, obviously, by Inca stonemasons. Look at them. Inca stonemasons have carved these. I mean, and many others like them that we're seeing around here.
I realize now, Pancho's not going to do all the work for me. He might point the way, but if I want to find the ruins, I'm on my own.
¿Es la punta? This is the top.
I'm at the top now. I've parted ways with Pancho. He isn't going on. He left as quickly as he arrived. The message I got from his silence is that he wants me to go on, but I'll have to take the last steps by myself. In Pancho's world, you have to work out the answers for yourself.
If I have to follow Tari for long, my batteries will run out. But what if Tari is right? Does it really matter if there's a lost city or not? But surely he wouldn't go on if he didn't believe.
I'm not rolling here. Huh? Are you ready, Tari?
Say action for me.
Yeah. Clapper. Action. Clapper. Action. So what are you doing, Tari?
I'm packing up. I'm going on.
Well, how could you? I mean, we don't have enough food. We don't have enough water. I'm running out of power. I lost my photographer. It's impossible for me to continue now.
Look, David, I mean, we've got to go on.
Clapper. Action.
Hey, look, you know, I mean, oh, sorry, can we do that again?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Action.
Hey, look, this, sorry.
Action.
Hey, look, this isn't a holiday camp with 3 hot meals a day. You're just making a film. I'm looking for a lost city. I've got to go on. I've got to follow the ridge.
And if I can't follow you?
Well, go home. There's the rope. The rope's down there. Just go home. I'll meet you in Lima, in Cusco, or whatever, London. Are you coming or not? See you in Lima, David.
Is this really how my film is going to end? Tari leaves me behind after all these months of trekking through the jungle. When I get home, I will piece together the puzzle of material, using only the best fragments to create a story that makes sense. But no matter how it looks, it will never show exactly what really happened. My journey ended here, and my decision was to let Tari go on alone. It now fell to me to fulfill Tari's promise and take Pancho and his friend to the city.
Vamos a llevar, yo te he llevado. Pues si no querías llevar igual, tienes que aprender. Yo te voy a aprender. A mí sabe a ustedes aprender de Dios, no sabe aprender de Dios. ¿Ah? Nunca engaño, nunca engaño, nunca. Ese, ¿cómo se llama? E igual dice, está cerca nomás, vaya de que te guía. Nunca explica. Más sí. Un día pues engañando, está ahí, te doy.
Pero tú sabes.
Es de Castilla. Castigado. Yo no sufro. Así es, pero. Yo también pensé, único no yo también. Acá está ahí, pero.
Si venamos nosotros otra vez, ¿tú nos enseñas? No. ¿Por qué?
Así que es de propio. Propio.
Did he know, or didn't he? The next day, Pancho went back to the jungle. After all, we're not the only adventurers that have passed through his village, searching for Paititi, and we'll probably not be the last. With a bit of luck, Pancho can expect more gifts, more glasses of pisco, and trips to Cusco. That is, if he doesn't make the mistake of showing someone the way to the lost city first.